young man courting the girls, I played me a waiting game. If a maid refused me with tossing curls, I'd let the old earth take a couple of whirls, while I plied her with tears in lieu of pearls. And as time came around, she came my way. As time came around, she came. When you meet with the young girls early in the spring, you court them in song and rhyme. They answer with words and a clover ring, but if you could examine the goods they bring, they have little to offer but the songs they sing, and a plentiful waste of time of day. A plentiful waste of time. Oh, it's a long, long while from May to December.
Friends, Romans, and countrymen, I have come to very easy. Not to.
When you reach
Again, my foray into thespian side of the arts, now complete for the night. I will not using any more of the words from the immortal bark. However, that said, we are starting a new project. That project is the girl in the red hat. Again, I have been able to procure an unbelievable
and these few precious days,
copy of this for a reference photo. Again, I am just completely astounded at the quality of reference photo that is available now. It used to take me sometimes a month trying the proper reference photo, a high-end art book or whatever. Now, it takes me half an hour searching through museum libraries. And I can only put it down, I was away for almost 4 years in Belize. And the only thing I can think of is that the proliferation of 1080p and 4K monitors and TVs, and Google doing their thing, Chromecast, etc., amongst others, that they've upgraded the imaging to accommodate this new high resolution, because a very low resolution picture looks really crappy in extra high resolution. So I think they've started posting high resolution pieces, and the only way I can think of to get something like this, if it's a still, well, outside of a professional movie camera or whatever, TV camera, would be to use RAW on an DSLR. But that's kind of what I'm looking at right here. Right down again, same as the girl in the pearl earrings, down to the cracks in the paint. It's absolutely amazing. I have never, ever seen anything like it. And, well, anyway, that said, Vermeer, I call this more of a pure Vermeer, whereby the later influence of Rembrandt, etc. Rembrandt's student, not Rembrandt. Rembrandt's one of Rembrandt's students named Maas. His last name was Maas, M-E. Brought him more to more classical types of art, allegories and whatnot. Whereas this type of art, although I'm not 100% sure it was done in the studio, I think it was. The only exception would be that the light is from a different side. God, I can't talk tonight. A different side, and it's quite possible that again it was just set up in a studio. There's ways to do it, and it doesn't have those affectations of the later Vermeers. And it's a very small picture, 9 inches by 9 and 7/8. I'm actually doing it 9 by 12. The canvas is, and I'll be honest with you, it's only for expediency because I'm doing it in acrylic, not in oil. So it'll never be taken for the real deal. And 9 by 12 is a fairly standard artboard art canvas size, whereas 9 7/8 at 9 inches would require a specially cut frame, and that doubles the expense of framing it, if not triples. So consequently, I've decided to do a 9 by 12 instead of 9 by 9 7/8. So it's fractionally different size, but not much. The actual girl is indeed the same size. I'm talking about the straight canvas. If the image is the same size, however. And it is certainly going to be a challenge in that he really uses grisaille on about around 2/3 of the painting, followed by vermilion, ochres. He's also using some madder. I'm not 100% sure that they're right on the madder. It could be, but I'm not 100% sure. They say it is. I say, well, maybe. Also, I'd bring your attention too to the earring. Now, he tended to use the earring on his paintings as a prop. The odd thing about this one is that you can see right through it. So it's like it's a crystal earring or something. Which is, he may just have done that, as opposed to, and perhaps it was a real pearl. If it is, it's a doozy, I'll tell you. But you can actually see through the earring, so it's like he's made it like crystal. Why? Maybe he just simply thought it worked better. I don't know. We'll never know. It's been gone a long time. A long time. And I'll just do a quick camera check. Yep. On the money. And I'm also going to see if I can perhaps move it down a little bit so you've got even a better view.
White tie and tails no more gone. They've been put away till after the war.
There we go. Not quite so big, so I think you can get a better view now. Double check on the resolution. See. There we go. That resolution is pretty good. Okay. Now you get to see her in a much larger format. But again, bear in mind, she's only this big. See by my fingers. I'm going to be using a very, very tiny brush for this, most of it. However, in the interim, I'm going to use my my good old I don't know what kind of brush it is anymore, but it's made in. I can't tell you where it's made now. Now, it's on its last legs, this poor little brush, because I have continually abused it. And that's something I didn't do, was bring in a new piece of paper. So, not to be outdone, we'll just use not much paint, frankly. And I have to go up and get it from my studio and my other studio, and I just can't be bothered. I must admit, I'm a tad fatigued. In that I had an incredible amount of work I had to do this afternoon on do some paintings, drawings actually, and they are completed, but it took a lot of time. Unfortunately, there's no let up. Unlike painting where you can sort of ponder and sit back and relax and feel the moment. In this particular case, no. So, let me tell you, the eyes open. It was interesting to say the least. But, by the same token, we were happy campers in that we were drawing, and wunderbar. Wunderbar. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to dive in. Now, in here, he's basically done a grisaille. And what I mean by that, if you look at the color on the back of your hand, on one of the veins, or a vein anywhere on you, it's just a slight tone up from that. Then he moves into a vermilion here, brightens up the color here, and then he's got real light to vermilion over here, and again he lightens it here for some ambient light, and then throws it right back into what I just described. There is a neck piece here, which is see-through cloth is the best thing I can describe it with. It's like lace and cloth, but just saturated with highlights. And he sort of plays with it over here because the cloth is there, but you really can't see it. It's a see-through part, and you just put some highlights in there. then he goes back to vermilion up here. Earring, of course, as I just said, is it is more. You can see through it, so it's not a pearl. And I have had to put in the ear, the top part of the ear, mainly because it's been lost. Paint has fallen off the canvas, and it hasn't been restored in any way. So, be that as it may, that is what's going to happen. So I'm going to, and also the difficulty level here is that through here he lightens up on the Creuset, and then up here he darkens it up. So I'm telling you, it's going to be something else to draw, but that's okay because that's what I signed up for, and that's what we're going to do.
Lord, and it's not made of wood. Why can't he see?
So I'm going to mix up a little bit of that.
I've got it bad.
And I'm going to underpaint it.
Can I tell
Very small amount of chromium oxide here somewhere. Chromium oxide, where? Oh, there you are.
all the beauty
And I've recently purchased this chromium oxide paint. And I have to say, Winsor Newton has outdone itself with their professional level paint. And what I mean by that is that I hadn't read the specs on, because to be honest with you, I don't use Liquitex, or don't use anything but Liquitex most of the time. That's Liquitex professional paint. But they've built into the mix some sort of extender. So in fact, it does not die on you for quite some time. Very effective. And really, I'm just amazed. I'm going to underpaint with a very light coating of this Creuset color first. And it would appear I'm going to need a little bit of blue. So I'm going to throw just a tad bit of cerulean into it. It just short steps it for me, having to putting cerulean in, because I get their same color, different mix. Same color, different mix. And it would appear my mixing light, although doing a great job, needs how did that happen? Somehow And believe it or not, it's even lighter than that. So I'll fire out a little bit of titanium to get it to there faster. Which did indeed get it there faster. Okay. Now this would be a very light coat of Rosé. Yes, I'm afraid I've about killed this little brush. Well, I guess we'll have a funeral for her. By the way, I was going to tell you the use of you spray fixative. Sometimes will, if you're just putting water on it, it'll make it bead a bit. You just have to add more paint. Not a problem. It's just particularity of the stuff. I'm always a little surprised, because it is workable fixative, so I don't know why they do that. What is that? But once in a while, you run into a little bit of problem, and I don't know. Don't know why. If I was using a thicker coat of paint, it wouldn't be. Now, I'm only using this little brush because it gives me more control on the amount of paint that's going down. Now, nobody knows who the models were for Vermeer. Many have said that they're his own children, and I tend to be honest with you, I tend to think that's often the case, or relatives. Which isn't, it isn't unusual. It appears he did have one of his children had, if not Down syndrome, something similar to Down syndrome. But she's in one of the paintings. If in fact it is one of his children. No matter. Immortalized. The reason I say that is because it's very unusual to see that. in the painting of this period. I tend to draw in my highlight areas just as a guideline for myself. In this case, no difference. I'm going to lighten it up here because I know there's a highlight. Now, the way I'm painting it right now is actually historically correct. Believe it or not, this is exactly what would happen. Would have been done in Grisaille. I'm not going to do it all in Grisaille. They have updated a little bit. And then you can see through the cloth here. You see your neck through the cloth. Oh. I am also doing it. And you see through the pearl earring, or not pearl earring, glass earring, crystal, I don't know. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. Oh, you poor little thing, he's dying. Somebody loves you. Oh no. Don't know who. Now, I've got this color out, and I think I'm just going to get a piece of bond paper. I mean, stupid. bear with me just for a moment. I'm going to go get some. And then this will dry, and then we can start on the actual colors of the thing. The portrait will then start. A lot of glazing involved in this because it's acrylic. Needless to say, Vermeer glazed like crazy too. So he gets these ethereal looks, just amazing. But he's very aware of glazing. A couple other little things I want to tell you about Vermeer regarding this painting as opposed to some of his later paintings. Okay, so I will be right back after I get some palette paper so I can get the mixes, because the truth of the matter is, yes, I can just use this little piece of paper for the amount of paint, but it just occurred to me that if I want to mix up some of these compound glazes, which will dry on me like crazy, then I'm going to want to see what my steps were. If I discover a really good mix, I don't want to forget what it is because the paper's getting thrown out. So, uno momento, please. Sorry about this, but I'll be back in a jiff. and return. Now, there is my palette paper. I will simply tear in half. Trying to find it. There we go. And transfer the paint onto the palette paper. Ah, yes. I think that's all I'm going to need. Much better. Much better. So we shall begin. As I said, after that, and we're not quick and easy sketches by any means. No let up. On a mission. Actually, it's not a mission, it's not obligation. It's just I have somebody in the U.S. that I share sketches for on a monthly basis. The last of them was done today. I got a little bit behind because other things seem to overtake it. And the consequence of that was simply that I had to make up for that today. Oh, in the words of a professional artist, worked my ass off today. But I'm already feeling my vibe, so this is very good. Very good therapy, I must admit. Because I will tell you, there is no let up in those. Every sketch is different. Very different. So you're doing very different. All of it in charcoal and graphite. Needless to say, it is very. Now, he used a combination of vermilion and ochre. And a little bit of azure. Get that incredible shadowing in the hat. And what I'm going to do while that's drying, I'm going to do under the hat. So bear with me just for a moment while I get that in and that dries, and I can start glazing colors on. The color he uses, in fact, so close to this that no need to mix up the actual colors he used, because you don't buy Azure very. You can get it, but I don't use it. I just use Ultimate. I have used it. It's fabulous paint. But this goes on more as a it goes on as a transparent layer, and that's kind of what I'm looking for, because I want the paint to influence the color which is above it, and in doing that, I'm going to be able to do the same colors he has. Truth of the matter is the colors he used are the colors that were available, and those are the colors you see right on the painting of the girl with the red hat. And if I was doing this as a reproduction for somebody, then I would indeed use those colors. No question about it. But again, you can't do an oil reproduction in acrylic. So there's no need.
Smarty, don't you know you should hold me tight? Can't you tell when you met me right? Pop, 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 poppy, yeah. Oh, you think you know every star up above? That's all you know about. Still you're in need of a few lessons, baby, in love. I ain't telling you nothing wrong, Smarty. Can't you see if you had a heart? You can learn to be twice as smart. Smarty, come here.
So this is just the underpainting. And frankly, you know, it's kind of what he would have done. There's no difference between how you approach the painting. It's really... The neat thing about this painting is, if you blow it up, you can actually see the canvas on the side, and you can see the color he used. He used a grayish tone canvas, gray blue, and just a hint of blue in it, and very effective, I must admit. I personally like using white because I want to see the colors, the color mixture that I just don't get on a colored canvas. Sometimes there's a subtlety in color that you don't see unless it's on white, because then you're only reflecting the color of the paint as opposed to the color of what you're painting on. And it requires you to mix your colors.
Detour, there's a muddy road ahead. Detour, paid no mind.
Anyway, it requires you to mix your colors exactly on your palette. And since my original training was in oil, often I'll mix the color right on top, right on the painting. I don't know if you know that technique, but it works very well. I turn the fan on because the lights here are extremely hot.
Paid no mind to what it said. Detour. All these bitter things I find should have read that detour sign. When I got right to the place where it said about face, I thought that all my worries were behind. But the farther I go, the more sorrow I know. Should have read that detour sign. Detour, there's a muddy road.
Much better.
Detour, paid no mind to it said, detour.
It's been an incredibly productive day. And telling you, wore me out. Really worn. Have you ever saw me worn out? It basically wore me out. One of the reasons is I'm like, say the 7th or something, 8th. I got behind. Don't ask me how. I just got behind. And so the consequence of that was I had to double up what I normally do in one day. So instead of just going for a couple hours and I'm good, I ended up going from 11 something till right till 5 o'clock. Yowza. Yowza, yowza, yowza. But again, I mean, that's life in the big city, right? Come on now, there you go. I just can't believe the quality of this reproduction. It's just amazing. It really is. This is God, I wish I had this years ago. When it would take sometimes weeks to get it right on the money. Now remember, folks, in saying that, I am not admitting to any forgery, okay? I'm not a forger, okay? I simply know how to do it. So, when I say that, I don't mean that I was doing it to fool anybody. But I would get requests, you know, like I think I explained once before, there was a number of people in the 1990s who inherited paintings from parents who basically stayed in their homes till they basically died. About 30 years ago now, but that was the last generation who kind of died at home. Now they go to assisted living and all that kind of stuff. Or they completely downsize, you know, and they get rid of a whole bunch of stuff and it's gone. But what happened was a lot of people inherited paintings. They had no clue what they were. So I would get a call, and they'd say, I got this painting from my mother, who just passed on. I'd say, yes, and it looks pretty old. Could you tell me about anything about it? I'd say, absolutely, and I would basically come in and look and research it and come back and say, yep. It's so-and-so, and it's at the 1860 or longer or whatever it would be. And what happened was, I would say what I would say is phone your insurance company, please, before you put it up on the wall. Knowing full well what was going to happen, but I didn't say anything because I let them find out for themselves. So they'd phone the insurance company, and they'd find out that the painting was valued, say, at $50,000, or this is 30 years ago, so like $100,000 today. And it would be some little painting, you know, it wasn't like a Rembrandt's The Night Watch. And sometimes it would be this size. And but it was done by an artist perhaps who became very well known. It was bought maybe early in his career, and somebody bought it for decoration in the 1850s or earlier and passed it on through the family. And Nobody thought anything about it. They'd seen it all their lives, and on and on and on. And what happened would be they'd finally get it, the younger people, and they would phone their insurance company. The insurance company would go, "Oh yeah, okay. Well, it'll be like 2,000 grand a year, 2,000 a year to insure it, whatever that is a month. I don't know." The reason for that is they don't like insuring art because it's too portable. You can have a party in your house and the painting can go missing. You know, like it's put it under a coat and walk out the door. I mean, it's not like stealing your car. You know, and there's no license plate on it and disappears into the art ether. You know, like ends up in Cairo in some little museum. Who knows? Nobody will ever see it again. And they know that, so they charge appropriately. That was back then. I have no idea what it would be now. So then they'd call me back and go, "Do you know any way to store this? We'd really like it, but we don't know what to do except put it in like safety deposit situation." Excuse me. And I'd say, "Well, yeah, what most people do is they have me do an exact copy. Take it out of the frame, put mine in the frame, hang it on the wall, enjoy it for the rest of your life, and you've got your assets stuck in a safety deposit box somewhere." Light bulbs would go off. Whoa! Really? You can do that? I say, "You'll never know the difference." And I would use, I'd use Maroc medium, is it Marochet or Maroc? I haven't used it for so long. Anyways, a Frenchman in the 1850s developed an additive to use with oil paint that literally skipped all the glazing that needed to be done on oil painting, and it just gave you exactly the same look. The trouble is that over the years the painting would yellow very fast, because they were using vegetable-based dyes and animal-based mediums and stuff like that. But you know, they reinvented it, so to speak, and took all that stuff out and replaced it with modern stuff, so it never yellowed anymore. So you can get it, but it's like a specialty item. Marochet? Maroge. Maroger. Maroger. I have some here. Anyway, if I dig out the bottle, I'll show it to you. Anyway, so what would happen would be you can use this stuff, and boom, you can get that old master luck really fast. Super fast. So I would use that, and that's why it was invented, really. And the guy's name is the name of the stuff, the guy who invented it. Anyway, so I would do that, and what would happen would be they would do it, and then word would spread. You know, and for every person I got, I'd get two more. You know, like, and then they'd tell two more. Pretty soon it ended up very, very lucrative, and I did believe it or not, most of it was Dutch artists, most of it. Because people who immigrated from Holland, the Netherlands, Belgium, etc., they seemed to have the most. Mind you, that was a hotbed of art for years. You know, Vermeer and Rembrandt. You know, so not surprising they get it. Most of them were scenes like with a windmill in it. They were bucolic scenes of the Netherlands even back in the 1850s. They would be scenes from 100 years earlier. That's what they kind of were. And they had one of those, you know, those boats with a sail, and you know, just to get around the canals and things like that. They're very lovely little paintings. I did lots of them. So you know, but you do it in oil in order for, like, literally. I'm not kidding you. Exactly what it is. Now, if the painting was cracked, I don't know what the stuff is called offhand, but you could always buy it. And it's the same stuff you use for, you know, there was a time when they wanted a distressed look on furniture and stuff, and have cracks and well, they called it crackle medium. There's a chemical name for it, but I don't know just now what it was. Anyway, like on this painting here, you would literally follow. You wouldn't do every last crack, but you would put in enough of the cracks that so what would happen is you put it down first, and then put down a layer of oil paint on it, and the paint would crack where that stuff was, and it would mimic the cracks of a painting perfectly. Earlier in the 50s and 60s, guys who did forging used to stick it in an oven and let the paint, when the paint wasn't quite cured, and let it crack that way. They have a distinctive looking crack. So they know that from, like, the art guy people who, investigators know that because they know the distinctness of the cracks from heat as opposed to the distinctness of the cracks from the chemical. And literally, depending on the complexity of the painting, you'd never know. Really, you just wouldn't know. And I didn't do it in oils. I wouldn't use any titanium whites. That's why I'm about lead white. That's why I want to use mixing white in acrylic. I wouldn't ever use anything like that because you'd have to go and buy pure lead white, and you can buy all that stuff. So it's not a problem to get lead white. If you know where to look. There are artist supply stores that supply all of the original colors, and you do is you wouldn't need all of them. You would just buy 3 prime colors, and then what you would do is you would mix all your colors from there. Which, you know how to do it, it's not a big deal because all colors derive from lead white and 3 prime, so no big deal. So it wasn't any huge cost or anything. It's just unless something was really, really expensive. But you wouldn't find, like in that day, much ultramarine blues and things, or azure. It was just too expensive to use, so they used other colors instead. So you didn't have to worry about that. Because if you had to use that, well, right away you'd know, right? Because what would happen would be if somebody tested the painting and saw that it was another type of blue from a chemical composition, and it wasn't real ultramarine blue, you're cooked. That's why ultramarine blue is and cerulean blue for that matter, is so expensive because it uses the real pigments in them. But in oil paint, it's linseed oil, and it's the real pigment. So you don't have to worry about weird combinations of color. Like, to give you an example, quid magenta. Okay, so what's in it? I want to tell you. Yeah, okay. Well, they just say polymeric emulsion. I don't know if perhaps, Winsor Newton gives you the breakdown. So this is like a naphthenol red light. And you get naphthenol AS-D, PR112, dilute with water, clean with water immediately after use. So they would never have this color, but it tells you what it is, that color to make this. So it's a new thing. New. When I say new, I mean from 1900 on. Okay, they wouldn't have that back in the day when these paintings were being done. But that's how you'd crack it, so it would be perfect. And then it would go into its original frame. Put it on the wall. Now, depending on the person's depending on their insistence on everything natural, etc., etc. I know, I just couldn't help myself. I bought a new brush. What can I tell you? It's a beaut, though. Who makes this sucker? Really? It's a Zen 6. Made for Royal Brush. don't know what the acronym is for WM for a state. Is that Wyoming? Wisconsin? No, it would be Wisconsin. Washington? Anyway, that's where it's made. Anyway. So, that being said, that's how you did that. And then what would happen would be, based upon the client's insistence on detail and how carefully they wanted it reproduced, I kind of always knew what the jig of, what the game was. They were going to put the real one away and sell this one as the real deal. I knew that. So, what I would do is I'd sign my name on the back with India ink, but you can get that off. You can sand it off. So in an inauspicious corner of the canvas on the back, I would write my name in lemon oil and mixed with water. And then when it dried, you couldn't see it. So if I've ever got any blowback, the lemon oil under a little bit of heat would react like the candle type thing. And you see, painted by yours truly, for whoever it was, the date, and I'd put after who the artist was. But it was invisible. Well, so if they thought if they had some larceny in their system, it wouldn't blow back to me, because I'd just say, look at the top right hand corner and put it under a bit of heat, and you'll see. And then that would be irrefutable evidence that no, indeed, I had not tried to defraud or done anything that all was illegal, because I would do the painting right down to the artist's signature, no question about it, based upon them owning it. Anyway, that's what I did, and that's how I know so much about it. You'd also once in a while get approached by people, because word sort of gets out after a while, and you'll get approached by people. Have you ever done this artist? Why? Well, I'd be willing to pay you to do one of this. I said, oh, really? And would it matter if I did an acrylic for you or whatever? They go, oh, no. What about water-based oils? Oh, no. Has to be the original oil paint. Oh. I don't know. Let me get back to you. So right away, I'd never get back to them, because I knew what was going on as soon as they asked. Give them enough room to hang themselves. Because you can get in a world of hurt doing stuff like that. You don't want it. Now there's a guy on the ball. Old Masters Merauger medium. That's it. Flemish Merauger painting medium. Exactly it. That's what I used. And let me tell you, unless you put it under chemical analysis, you'd never know. Never. Even if it was old or you had it, you would always see that it was a little yellower than the normal paintings would age because of the Merauger medium. But if they used it from the 1850s or whatever time when he invented it, it would be a little yellower because of the animal varnish is in it. But by the same token, you'd never know. So when you tried to get it cleaned, professional cleaner would suspect, but not many of them, believe it or not, know about Merauger medium. Don't really know why. I don't know why. It's just kind of weird. I don't know why. But a little story, that's the story of love. Romulus. Oh,
And when the world is
Romulus
we've got each other
is on
got to win
a
a little,
little.
lose a little, always have
A
fun, lose a little.
little
That's the
story of that.
that's the glory of
Oh.
love.
So now I'm moving into a little bit of a brush tone here. And it's going to be really, really light. Tell you that story of love. Another's on. Play a little. Little. The story of love. Want to live. So I'm going to achieve that glazed Vermeer look. Oh, I was going to tell you about Vermeer. Okay, here's the story. Vermeer, at some point in his career, it was, I think they kind of can guess the date. I don't know. It would have been after he had been he put his shingle out as a professional artist anyway. Anyway, he was visited, like he was fairly well known, and he was in fact the head of the Delft Artist Guild. So he would have been a respected figure in terms of the art world, and at the time. And what he did is that he met, I'll have to look up his last name because I just can't remember offhand. And anyway, he was Rembrandt's pupil, or like his student, and he came to see. Well, they don't know. There's no record of him actually staying with Vermeer or anything like that. But all of a sudden, Vermeer's work, he did Bathsheba at her bath, I think it was. And really, it's nothing more than I mean, it's Vermeer's style, but really, it's nothing more than a Rembrandt's painting, same painting. He that's what it is, and you can tell that Rembrandt was in his composition was the inspiration. Now he flipped it, mirror image it, but you can tell it's the same composition, very similar. And so the suspicion is that Maas, he knew him, and he simply basically showed him all of Vermeer's techniques. Because how else would he know how to do the whole painting in Vermeer's technique? He also, at the time, showed Vermeer Rembrandt's impasto technique, which was very interesting because Rembrandt had been very, very good at using impasto in his paint for light reflections and whatnot. And so there's that. Damn it. Page there. Well, it's gone now. There we go. And so consequently,
Now, have you read
the only explanation really is the fact that he was in fact, being instructed on the techniques by Rembrandt's student, because it all changes. The girl with the pearl earring here is more was obviously done earlier because it's more of Vermeer's earlier style. Again, this is my opinion. I'm sure there's lots of bonehead historians out there who will disagree, but art historians, they all have their own opinion, but that's what I think happened. Because the timing's just right. He came down to Delft, I guess, to work, because he heard that the good burghers of Delft had come into money based upon the trade. Flemish, Dutch, seafaring empire was vast, and they made lots and lots of money until the Brits figured it all out, and then they took over. But the Dutch East India Company was a going concern, and they had the money. So these people had the money to purchase higher end stuff. Now the reason it's so small is because they didn't live in huge homes and castles and stuff. They lived in houses, nice houses, but not the size of like Buckingham Palace or anything. So you couldn't do a painting unless it was a civic painting that kind of size. So a civic painting would hang in like the town hall or whatever, and then like Rembrandt's The Night Watch, that was designed to hang in a public place, and that's why it's so big. But a lot of Rembrandt's work was much smaller because he was selling to. That's why a lot of historians think that Vermeer's the one he painted him when he's sitting on the three-legged stool, which doesn't have three legs. His back is to his back is to the viewer. You only see his back, but he's got on this doublet, which is just, man, like a Savile Row suit of the day, So everything is done to the nines, and one of the problems is there is a report that somebody brought somebody over to Vermeer to look at his work, and he didn't have anything available for him to look at. So what he did is he sent him to the butcher or the baker or something who had one of his paintings so he could look at his style and what he thought of it. Well, I think Vermeer figured out real quick that he needed an example. People could, say, wow, you're good. You're a good artist. Yeah, okay, then this is what I want you to do. He didn't have one of those, so he painted that painting more like an advertisement, if you will. And that's why he did it like unbelievable. Like the floor is all marble tiles and whatnot. Vermeer did not have marble tiles in his house, but he put them in the painting, and it's in his studio. So he really and truly did it really to impress, and it does, I must admit. So I categorize Vermeer in two different stages of painting. Later Vermeer and early Vermeer. This, to me, would be early Vermeer. And the size of it really screams that... well, it could mean one of two things. It could mean simply that the person who bought it had the means but not the space to hang a lot of paintings. Maybe his house was full of them. Because, there wasn't only Vermeer back in this time period. There was Peter Pieter is Van Loo, who was a very well-known painter in Delft. He would have been a contemporary of Vermeer. Very popular painter. As a matter of fact, a lot of his Vermeer's paintings, I believe, were attributed to him before they discovered Vermeer. It was Vermeer, not Van Loo. So there you go. That's the story. That is the story. Oh, I finished this. Oh, you finished it. Good stuff, man. Doesn't that give you a nice feeling of a compliment? Oh, let me look. Hold on. Hold on. Let me take a look. Da, 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 da. Whoa! Very nice. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Wow. You're getting there, kid. You're getting there. The hell do I go on to like this thing? I'm on a half page here. Very good. I'm liking it. Nice job. Did you use an electric eraser to put those lightning bolts in? Like it. You're coming on like a house on fire. Jesus. Well, listen. Everybody has room for improvement. Look at Russell. Oh, a white jelly. Listen, Russell's finding that the watercolor he's doing is not quite what he had in mind when he started. So it's not like everybody isn't improving all the time. Hell, I learned different techniques. It's just the way it is, right? I will tell you though, you need to get yourself a Sakura or a Derwent if you want to try it out first, because they're only $10. Electric eraser. You'll never look back, believe me. I've been using those things for so long, and one of the reasons is when I used to do my demo stuff and all that stuff. Stedler had an electric eraser. Christ, it weighed like, oh God, it weighed like 3 pounds or some damn thing. And it worked really good, but it was a pain in the butt to use because it was so heavy. And you couldn't get in that real delicate stuff you want, you know. Anyway, one of my students one day came in with it was made in Japan, called a Sakura eraser. It was only like 3 inches long, held 2 AA batteries. I went, oh my God, how much I said, where'd you get this? And she told me at the local art store, and I said, well, okay. And I said, how much did you pay for that? She went like $70, and I went, $70? This was a while ago, by the way. And I said to her, oh my God. I said, $70? And the little bugger, she said, well, try it first. Don't just say. I'm thinking, well, how good could it be? It's electric, right? And it's a battery. So I tried it. Man, I never looked back. I said, okay, where did you get it again? And that was a Sakura. Now, they are still about the same price. You can get them cheaper on eBay, I think, but maybe it's with the shipping and everything, it's the same price. I don't know. But they are like the Rolls Royce of electric racers when it comes to electric erase. Battery operated electric erasers. Sakura, okay. So they're the best. Now, if you want to see if you like it, I mean, some people don't like them. I mean, it's all in the. Some people will just say, nah, my kneading eraser is good enough. I like that. Okay. But if you want to just try it, Derwent puts one out. Now, the reason why it's like $9.99 isn't that it's not any good. It's simply that the motor in it isn't quite as strong, but it works just fine. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work. It works just fine. But if you want to remove unbelievable amounts of crap, you need a Sakura. But it is definitely, if you want to put in like those lightning bolts and stuff. Oh man, you won't believe it. Your wrist won't. So that's what I recommend for doing graphite. I don't do a ton of graphite art anymore for myself to sell because I never could find I could get the money out of it. But that doesn't mean I don't love it. And I've got a lot of graphites I have kept to this day. I've never sold them because I like them so much. And the last big graphite I did was, believe it or not, was a really big one. It was the Colosseum in Rome. And wow, it was a big graphite painting, but man, it took a long time. And let me tell you, when it was over, I went, well, I think that's it. But that doesn't mean, I still sometimes will just get the no, don't do it. No, you're talking to the wrong guy. if you start going down the charcoal road. And I'm going to tell you why. You see, if you use charcoal does not penetrate the paper. It sits on top of the paper. You can get some really nice highlighting effects with charcoal because it doesn't penetrate. So you can put down a real sharp line against highlights. But you never get it into the paper. So in other words, unless you spray it, and after a while the charcoal starts to come off it, and it doesn't last for a long, long time. So I was down that road, and I'll be honest with you, see, with you're using graphite, it's exactly the opposite. The graphite goes into the paper, and you work on top of it. And how I do it is I start with a 2B, and do the darks and lights, etc. Then I anchor the 2B with like an F, usually an F, or an H, pretty close, F or an H. And then that way I push the 2B farther into the paper. And then what I'll do is I'll layer on another few layers. I might use a 3B, I might go all the way up. I keep pushing it into the paper with the harder pencil. And pretty soon you get a real nice glow almost to the paper with the continuous layering of the graphite. You can't really layer very well with charcoal. That's why you need different grades. But you see, with graphite, you're actually going into the paper. And let me tell you, if done properly, you're in heaven. Really. It's incredible. Just incredible. Really, it's just, I can't say enough about it. Sakura, there you go. Sakura Eraser. That's the best make. It's got a little engine in it that is just like, what was the train that wouldn't go? I think I can, whatever. Remember that? Same thing. You can hear, even when you turn it on, you can just hear it. Zzz. But that's my recommendation anyway. But that's why I don't use charcoal. It doesn't go into the paper. I've done it. Don't get me wrong. That's all I use is when I was in art school. I mean, not as if I don't know how to use it. But I'll tell you, the Sakura Eraser, or it's not Sakura, charcoal. When we were doing life drawing, the guy who was an expert in graphite was one guy, and then the guy who was an expert in charcoal was a different person. It was almost like it was two different disciplines. Both knew how to do it. I don't mean to say they didn't, but one guy, his specialty was graphite. One guy was a charcoal, and I watched them over the years, and they explained to me what the difference was, and I'm just passing it on to you. So it's I mean, if you want more drama, say you want more drama in that piece you were just finished, like something like that, yeah, you can do the charcoal. If you want to backlight it and do all that neat stuff. I always found that it just made a bloody mess, and I spent more time cleaning charcoal off the painting where I didn't want it, as opposed to putting it on. I hope that makes sense. I hope.
I love the pitter patter I hear upon my window pane. My troubles cease to matter when I hear the lullaby of the rain. I've talked with every flower that blooms along the country lane. They're happy in a shower, 'cause they love the lullaby of the rain. Of the rain. Although the rain may be teeming, I'm cozy and warm, and I catch up on my dreaming all during the storm. Some like their weather sunny. Come cloudy days and they complain.
Da, da, da. One tool I want to get is a double in. Yes, yeah, that's Oh my God, what's the name of it? Or you can just get a navigational divider. It does the same thing, but it won't give you. Work out the proportions that way too. To be honest with you, that's what if I need to do that, that's what I use, the navigational divider. Because you just take a measurement off your reference. You can do a mix, nothing wrong with that. But if you're using a navigational divider, you simply just take your reference right off, or your measurement right off your reference, and just double it, triple it, quadruple it, whatever you want. It's really virtually the same thing. But I will admit, if you get one, they're easier to use.
You find joy in the things you do. You shine, boy, seldom ever blue. You content with what you got.
Oh, I'm back in the zone now. God, it's so nice.
Now look at you. People look at you with scorn.
Zone.
But you never whine.
My painting zone.
Up and down the street, you're pleading with everyone you meet. Brother,
I gotta tell you, tension builds when you're on deadline like that. Man, oh man, oh man. It's all my fault too. I missed one of the Sundays I should have painted. I had to go and visit. And I said, oh well, put me behind. Yeah, right, put me behind. And you killed me. Message for Art Galaxy Tech. You won't believe it, but a guy comes to the door today, Sunday, with a package from Amazon. And going, what the hell is this? So I opened the package. I'm thinking, oh, it can't be here already. New, I just ordered them. You know when you were here the other day? The spare cartridges for the my inkjet. So anyway, I open it up. It's another 6 bulbs of the halogen lights. Oh, who am I painting? Her name's the girl with the red in the red hat by Vermeer. One layer heavy. Oh no, hold on, wait, whoa, I'm creating art. Just wait a second. There's ways around that, man. No. Hold on. Don't worry about the shine on the graphite. Because there's a product out there. They used to call it dulling spray. Now they just call it matte spray. And what you do is you just give a quick light. You just do a very quick light spray with it. Spray your painting with it when it's done. And all the shine goes off the graphite instantly. Instantly. I'm not kidding. Instantly. I've used it for years. I don't even think about it anymore because of that. And it's made by Krylon. I know I sound like a Krylon salesman, but that's the only people I know who make it. Called, if you can't find dulling spray, then use matte spray. It does the same thing. And I've tried both, and it does do the same thing. It is the same stuff. But don't put it on too heavy. Just a quick little spray in order to dull your graphite. It works so good that it's and it's not expensive stuff, so it's not going to break the bank. And you can get it in any art store. Krylon makes it. And I'm not talking about workable fixative. I'm talking about matte spray. For specifically spraying on. We used to use it years ago and called it dulling. No. There's no texture at all. There's nothing. No, you won't. It when it goes on, it'll look just like workable fixative. But what it does is there you go, Krylon matte finish stuff. The link's right there. The link is right there. Trick is don't spray too much, just a little bit, and take the shine off. Quick one spray, just make sure the shine's gone, and away you go. No more trouble. I've been using it for years. It was originally designed for people who were doing photography and they wanted to spray the photograph matte so they could reproduce it, from the advertising business. But the artist quickly found out you could use it to do the spray on graphite just as good. And it works like a charm. You'll never even know it's on the picture. And all those problems with graphite disappear. No more shine. Believe me. If I hadn't discovered that, you can get rid of the shine on graphite, but let me tell you, it is tough. It's a mixture you got to do, and it just really, by the time you're done, you promise yourself, I'm never doing this again. Ever. I'm never going to do it. I promise. I promise the art gods. I'll never do it again. I never promise. Just save me. Anyway. Oh, please stop doing that. I watched a movie last night called Annihilation. Dowling spray. There you go. Oh, Krylon still carries it? I'll be done. Okay. If they still carry it, maybe they still carry it and they don't have it in our art stores. The trouble is there just isn't that many graphite artists around anymore who demanded it. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. Well, if that's the case, get the actual Dowling spray then. You know, I gotta apologize. I never even checked with the manufacturer. Gee, me bad. I'm sorry. Should have done that. I think it's because they told me that's what's replaced it or something. Something like that. I shouldn't have listened though. If the Dowling spray is still there, then should have gone and looked. Just shows you, like, you don't look. You don't look, you lose. Now, Dowling spray is the best, but please do use it just a quick once over to take the shine off. Don't overdo it. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you overdo it, if you wait about 2 weeks, you'll see a very, very slight gray film build up on your work. Now, it isn't the end of the world. Believe me, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. If you just take a kneaded eraser and lift it off, it comes off instantly. Even with a little piece of cotton batting, it'll come off easily. It's just that it saves yourself that step. That's all I'm saying. But if you don't overuse it, that doesn't happen. But just give it, just do it until the shine's gone. Because there's not a lot of shine. It's just light shine. So that's the cure. Now, see, when I teach graphite, you don't usually get that shine because I know what to layer on top of what in order so that it does not come out. But if you're new, then be honest with you, though, those extra steps are so time consuming that it's faster really just to spray it with a dulling spray. But it doesn't teach anybody anything, that's all. So it's you're damned if you do or damned if you don't. If you're teaching somebody how to do it, you should teach them the right way. But there isn't a right or wrong way if you're just doing it for yourself, right? So if I'm doing it for myself or whatever, or just to sell, then I just use dulling spray. I only do it when I'm teaching the other way. But it's much more labor intensive. Much. And it's a whole routine of pencil upon pencil, layer upon layer in order to get the right look. Upon your lips, and stars fell in your eyes. Moonglow made a halo. I'm liking this new brush I got here. Suddenly you looked at me and dreams began to rise. Oh, but you take an artist into any place where they sell paint or art supplies. I don't know what it is. It's like the it's like being a kid at Christmas time, All that happens is you start seeing the dulling spray, or not, you start seeing the brushes, and it's like, oh, look at that one. Oh, look at that one. It's like an addiction. I don't know what does it, but it's, I don't know. It's just the way it is. What'd you get? You sure? Well, I bought a couple of brushes. Why? They look neat. Well, but you already got like 1,000 brushes. I know, but I might need these for something. It's the same story over and over again. Why'd you buy that brush? Why? Because it was there. Actually, that's a good answer. Same reason the same thing mountain climbers say. Well, why did you climb the mountain? Because it was there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Da, 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 da. I'm actually thinking of doing one of Renmore's at the Opera. You know what I mean? With the opera glasses and stuff. I've only done it once, and I was at a show, and we're there for the whole day. And it was an outdoor show. It says not recent history, but it was an outdoor show, so I thought, well, I'm sitting around, so what do? I got two things I can do. I can sleep anywhere, and I can sit and paint. So I decided just to sit and paint. And I did Renoir's at the Opera. And it was just on a little canvas like this. Nothing serious. Just I did it over the course of the day. And and some people would come up and watch me paint it and stuff like that. And it's always fun to talk to people, right? I mean, especially if you're painting, because you get a lot of neat little questions and stuff that you can answer. This makes things a bit more interesting as far as I'm concerned. So I don't mind. If I'm at a show, I mind if I'm at home and the phone keeps ringing. But or if I'm watching an episode of the Vikings, I'm ogling that Helga, is her name? No. Helga. What's her name? Yaga, not Yagada. No, it's not either. Oh, the blonde, the mother, what's her name? The wife of, the first wife of Ragnar. Oh, come on. Anyway, if I'm watching her, then I'm upset. Because, man, is she cute. Just one of those, I don't know, what's her name? Not the one that was the princess, the original wife. The one whose hair's always braided. She knows how to fight. What's her name? Catherine Winnick. She's from Toronto, right? Yes. Oh my God! I can't take my eyes off the screen when she's on.
Outside it's sunny.
No, I'm doing this in acrylic. What I did is a grisaille underpainting to it. Yes, that's exactly. Hey, you never get over that. Kid in the candy store, let me tell you, you're looking at him. She was born in Etobicoke. Oh, Lord Almighty. Oh, man. Oh, let me tell you. When she's on the screen, sometimes I'll pause it.
Memories haunt me.
In a way, that's why I stopped liking Ragnar. The guy who got the Shield Maiden. Yes. Oh, man, when she's on the screen, I'll tell you. And I never forgave Ragnar for dumping her for that tall, blonde Swedish girl, whatever her name was. The one he married and had the kid who couldn't, the spinal bifida or something, and the two other sons. The first son was from her. And then she took off and became a queen of something in her own right or something. But I'm telling you, I never forgave him. I thought, where's your taste, man? What did Paul Newman say? You know, why go out for hamburger when you can get steak at home, right? I mean, Jesus, mercy. Oh, never forgave him. You know, also something I found out the other night too is Stellenhart Skarsgård. His son is the one who was the vampire on True Blood. That guy? Yes, that's one son. But you know who the other son is? Is the guy who plays Floki, whatever, on Vikings. Didn't know that. Plays Floki. That's his other son. He's a Skarsgård. Small world, eh? The Shield Maiden. Oh my God. And how? Why would you? Oh, I don't know. I mean, the other girl was cute, I gotta admit, but Jesus. Not like her. Oh my God. Yeah, this is an acrylic painting, and what I did is I underpainted it with a grisaille to kind of give it the same look. Because the number of washes that have to go down on this to get it looking real good, I'd be here for a month of Sundays with oil, I'll be honest with you. Unless I was using some Roger medium. Then it wouldn't be quite so long, but...
Say my first impression of you was like the sight of flowers in spring. You were a glorious thing.
Remember when there was a company that was started selling Roger medium, and they were all over, I think, Artist Magazine, doing advertisements for it and all this stuff. So I saw the name of the company. I said, oh, well, yeah, I get a cell phone for all of North America, so I'll give them a call. So I phoned them and I said, can I speak to your tech person, please, for one of your products? So I got to speak to him, and I said, I see you're advertising Roger medium. He goes, oh yeah, absolutely, yes. I said, well, yeah, but have you fixed the yellowing problem? He goes, you mean the original Roger medium? I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, it's all fixed. We just took out he told me whatever the chemicals were or whatever. He fixed it all. I said, oh, wow, that's good. Okay, so if I use it, I don't have to worry about that anymore. He goes, no, it's all fixed. All done. All reformulated. I said, but does it do the same thing? He goes, absolutely. I said, okay. But I never bought it because I already had the original stuff. And for what I was doing, the original stuff worked really good because it made it, that slight yellowing look was right there. You were in heaven. But apparently it doesn't yellow anymore, so if anybody wants to try it, you go right ahead. Tell me how the new stuff works. It's good stuff though. Very good stuff. Also, I think YouTube's starting to get mad at me. Because last night's effort, they blocked the whole video. The whole video. The whole thing. Block, stock, and barrel. Blocked it. So I did my little refutation thing again. But I counted them up. I think I've got like 200 or more what do you call it? Protests in against whatever you call it. I don't know. There's a name for it. Non-acceptance of the copyright by the claimed owner. Oh, I saw a new one today though. Oh yeah, ad rev for unknown composer. Huh? Is he one that Russ is working on? Yes, that's the one. That's the guy. Loki. No, his name isn't Loki though. His name is, I think it's Floki. Floki. The guy in Vikings is Floki. I think Floki. It's not Loki, the god Loki. It's Floki. Floki. That's in the show The Vikings. What did you have to add a yellow who to get the same effect? Well, No, I don't. All I have to do is keep. If I've got such a close up, what he's done is he's finally put a coat of ochre on it to get that look. It's not no yellow, just ochre.
Gone and got the blues in Paris. Paris blues called Azure Day.
I don't know if I'm gonna have to do that though, because I'm getting really close to the color here as we go. With all these glazes.
Sidewalk tables filled with people, always happy, always gay. Still I'm all alone in Paris, praying you return someday. Can't lose this blues, this azure day.
Did I ever tell you my story about the word gay? This is a doozy, I'll tell you. So I think it was my son. Like he'd been about, I don't know, 14 or something. Anyway, his great grandmother was still alive, and she loved to knit. And she knit him a sweater for Christmas. And on the sweater it said, "I'm gay." And he had to wear it all Christmas Day. The pictures and everything. And he wasn't gay. Oh, man. I thought that was poor kid, you know, like, oh, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but, you know, like, I can imagine how you, like, at 14 years old, oh, my God. Imagine the ribbing his friends would have given him if he'd worn that. But it was a common word in the 1920s, right? I mean, if you're happy, you're gay. Just heard in the song there.
Knocking at the pearly gates. Oh, knock, asking about a room, about the rates. Old St. Peter was the official greeter. He was present to let them in. Some looked down because the skins were brown, but Pete hollered with the great welcome, welcome. There are no restricted signs in heaven. There's no selected clientele. There are no restricted signs in heaven. Brother, brother, that goes double. Hallelujah. Oh, knock. He said, now won't you follow me? Oh, knock. They looked around and what did they see? Snow white angels, colored angels, sons of David and Chinese. You don't have to look swell, not for this hotel. You can even check in your dungarees. You're welcome. There are no restricted signs in heaven. There's no that goes double. Knock. Knocked upon a door of stone.
Yeah, exactly. That's what she put on. That's what she put on the sweater. I'm gay. She was like an old lady, so she was thinking like, I'm happy, right? So she was an old lady. She didn't even know what the term meant. Now, like today, the kid had to wear the sweater, you know, all day like that. Christmas Story, you know, where the kid comes down in the bunny suit. Same thing.
So good and kind, and
I get this earring before I lose it.
If you keep in mind, there are no restricted signs in heaven. There's no selected clientele. There are no restricted signs up in heaven. Brother, brother, that goes double. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah.
This is not the color it's going in here. It's just so I can get the inside of the ear in, so I know where the rest of it is as I put down layer after layer. There. Be like that. Well, what are you going to do when it's your great-grandmother, right? That was the problem. So his mother went, like, in front of the Christmas tree. Well, isn't he going to try it on? Sure he will, great-grandma. There you go. Oh, it looks so nice. Can you wear it just for today? Sure. Well, how many pictures do you take? Well, how many pictures do you take Christmas Day with the family? Oh, man. And nobody took pity on him. Nobody. I used to, honest to God, I know I got an insane sense of humor, but when I think back now, like, oh man, some of the things I've to do to my son used to go with me on a Sunday. We'd hit all the stores, like game stores and all this stuff, and I'd buy him a few games, all that stuff. So he knew there was a price to pay. And he paid it. But what I do is I go into the the department stores, and I go up to the the place where they sell all the perfumes, and I say to the woman, "Listen, I think I'm buying a bit of perfume for my wife, but my sense of smell is very bad. Would you mind if I I can't believe I did it. I said, would you mind if I just got a couple of these spray samples here and just tried them out to find out which one she might like?" And they go, "Oh, no, there's a whole sample tray right here." Well, in those days, I don't know why, but they always kept them under the counter, so the spray would come out. So I call my son over, and I start spraying his head with these perfumes. I'd have one side of his head done, and then the other side, and the top, and the front. Oh, I'm telling you, by the time I was done, really, he smelled like he came out of a New Orleans cat house, I'll tell you. God. Just to kill myself laughing.
If you wonder why I'm near you, even though I'll be denied.
Mind you, he didn't think it was that funny.
On the sentimental side,
Not as funny as I did.
if I had an
It was funny because we'd walk out of the department store, like into a mall or something, and people would actually turn around to look to see where the smell was coming from. Oh, God. How he hated that. No, Dad, no, please, no, no, no. Just this one last time. Didn't I just buy you Metroids and all you? Yes, but. Oh, God. Good times. Good times. It's exactly what he smelled like. People actually would turn around when we were walking through the mall to see what the smell was. It was all from his hand. I used to make him, when we drove home, I'd make him open the window in his side because I just couldn't take it. It was just unbelievable. All mixed together. Oh, God. Oh, man. I'm telling you. That's why I get warnings now when I take my grandson out. Dad? Yeah? No perfume. Of course not. Mind you, I haven't done it. I wouldn't do it to my grandson. But,
Oh, well, you see how they done my
hilarious. He'd run in the door and peel upstairs to have a shower. Oh. Oh, man. It was so funny.
Oh, well, they cut and hit him out across. He never said a mama.
I'm going to put this in first down here to get this. Get this, nose in.
Well, he never said a mumbling word. Well, they pissed him in his side. But he never said a mumbling.
And I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to be doing this with 16th century brushes. Wow. Hard enough with today's brushes, let alone 16th. Wow. Must have been made to order or something. And you know, I guess I'm saying that, but maybe not so bad as you think, because I'm not really up on brushes, but there were brush guilds, and they the same technology. Yeah, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they could get the brushes. But he sure as hell wasn't using a bristle brush to do this. Too small. I told you, this painting, the actual size of it is only 9 inches by 9 7/8. That's pretty small. And I mean pretty small. And believe me, did he get a blend? I'm looking at it like as if I was inches away from the painting. He got a blend that was unbelievable. I've done this painting in watercolor, but in watercolor it's a different game, right? Actually, this painting lends itself to a watercolor, you know. So just give me a sec and I shall return. Okay. Now what he did was to put a little vermilion in this color. And evil. No. Oh God. I know. I'm glad he's not watching because he'd be going, you see, you evil, evil man. He had to put a little bit of extender in there. Okay, so what he did, he put a tiny little bit of vermilion in the paint. So vermilion, guess I could have used I'll just make it up, never mind. No big deal. Thinking, I should do that. I'll just make it up. Oh, don't tell me my. No, not dead enough. Still there. Da, 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 I'm gonna fire in a little bit of naphthenol red just to get that. I want that one. New tube, do not squeeze. You take the cap off, you're in a world of hurt. Okay, I'm in vermilion. There we go. There we go. Now I gotta use a little bit of just a bit here. See, glaze this on later. which is okay. I know what he's doing. I tried another red, but it just doesn't work. It's gotta be vermilion, which isn't like killed it. I don't use vermilion very often. But well, wishful thinking. You can't get there with the pinks. You gotta use vermilion. But that's okay, because I know how to fix it. Sometimes I wish he was around, you know. I just give him a slap on the side of the head and say, listen, buddy, you realize that, you know, like 400 years from now, somebody's going to be doing this painting and doing it in acrylic paint, and you're making it tough because you did this, 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 and this. And when he gave you that, what the hell are you talking about look, you could just give him another slap in the head.
That my heart must reveal. Let me confess what
There, you son of a...
The dreams that I dream.
What are you trying to do?
I'd even lie and I'd steal for you, or go to most any extreme.
Da 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 da.
I swear by stars above.
Now I gotta layer all that. Put all those layers on top of it. Blaze away. Blaze away. In oil, what I do is I use mediums, but they don't really affect the paint, you know. Whereas I find with acrylics, when I'm using an acrylic medium, I get a gloss from the one I'm using, which is glaze medium, and I don't want the gloss. I only want a gloss when I want a gloss. Well, that's close. It's not bad at all.
We kiss in a shadow. We hide from the moon. Our meetings are few and over too soon. We speak in a whisper, afraid to be heard. When people are near, we speak not a word. Alone in our secret, together Together we sigh for one smiling day.
One more glaze on top of that, and I think I might be there.
To kiss in the sunlight and say to the sky, behold and believe what you see. Behold how my lover loves me. Alone in our secret, together we sigh for one smiling day to be free. To kiss in the sunlight.
Da, 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 da.
Behold and believe what you see. Behold how my lover loves me.
Breathe on the sun. The blue sky, do I sing? Blue sky, from now on. Never so bright. The old blue skies. Blue sky, do I see? Silent and gone. Blue sky, from now on. There's a blue sky. Hey, little light, oh, there's a ride. Blue sky, oh, and on, oh, that blue sky, from now on. Who's got unknown? Living by every side of the dawn, of the dawn. Da, 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 da. Um, da, da. Please come through the vermilion here. Just want to glaze a nice little coat. But please come through. I need you to come through. I need you to come through that. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. I know you can. Come on, you can do it. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Life is such a great adventure. Learn to live it as you go. No one in the world can censure what we do here below. Don't save your kisses, just pass them around. You'll find my reason is logically sound. Who's going to know that you passed them around 100 years from today? Why crave a penthouse that's fit for a queen? You're nearer heaven on Mother's Green. If you had millions, what would they all mean 100 years from today? So laugh and sing, make love the thing, be happy while you may. There's always one beneath the sun who's bound to make you feel that way. The moon is shining, and that's a good sign. Cling to me closer and say you'll be mine. Remember, darling, we won't see it shine 100 years from today. 100
years from today.
The moon is shining, and that's a good sign. Cling to me closer and say you'll be mine. Remember, darling, we won't lose time 100 years from today. Oh, 100 years from today.
Cabin in the Southland where I long to go. Little cabin in the cotton where the cotton grows. recollection, that's where my affection strays.
That's where your affection strays.
I got a feeling so sentimental.
A feeling sentimental.
And I see a smile so gentle.
A smile so gentle.
When I think of old Virginie and my pickaninny day.
Pickaninny day.
We took the good and we took the evil.
Didn't we all?
Laughter and song and old bold weevil. Time has gone by, now here am I, wishing that I only knew how to wake up in the morning.
You can wake up in the morning.
In the cabin I was born.
In the cabin you was born in.
Little cabin in the cotton. I have not forgotten you.
Now, I purposely left no underpainting on it.
Cabin in the cotton, I have not forgotten you.
Do-do-do-do. Da, 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 da.
Let's all sing together. Don't mind the weather. Rain or shine, the weather's fine. Just sing Sweet Adeline. Let's all sing together. No stormy weather. Just a jingle with a tingle. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Oh, let's hear a bass note. Whoop, papa, woo, whoop, papa, woo, whoop, papa. Let's join the chorus, tra-la-la. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Oh, let's all sing together. Birds of a feather. Troubles go like bubbles when you sing out Old Lang Syne.
Da, da. Da, da, da.
and never,
Da, da, da,
babe,
when
and
you go.
there's no like it. Oh, you be sad, Mr. Davis, but Davis, oh, Davis, not a never. Down come time, you ready? There come a time, I bet it. Baby, see what you do when my love you all drive me to the babe after you gone, babe, after you gone away.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Come on. Ah. Stormy weather. Anybody tells you it isn't hard to do this, tell them to come call me. Jesus. Man, man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man. Thing is, too, he broke all the damn rules. Like he didn't know, either he didn't know the rules or he didn't care. I don't know. Like the oil paint, like, you know, there's rules. I don't mean that there's rules like laws or anything, but there's a way things are done, and this, he literally, I'd love to know who taught this guy how to paint. Love to talk to him. Listen, unless, no. What I'm talking about is, you see, you don't really ever use white. And the reason is because it's the brightest color, right? So you have to build up to it. Now, normally, what a person would do if you're doing this kind of bright, oh, that light is in my way. What you'd normally do is simply build up that kind of light. But see, he didn't do that. He went right into lead white, and so I'm doing it. I'm doing it the way every oil painter for. I'm doing it for years, so I'm doing it, but I can't find a trace of him using a lighter undercoating. It's like he just went right into lead white, which just isn't done. I'd love to find out who taught him how to do this. Like, I only have one theory, really, after seeing how he did this. He must have just been like a genius. I'm starting to really wonder whether he just was one of those people, like, was born, knew how to paint or play the violin or something. He just was like a brilliant person who just basically got paints and just started painting. Because this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Now, I'm getting the brightness You see, he got the brightness too, but he did it a different way. He contrasted it all, which is, well, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm not saying it's not working, but I underpainted with white, and he didn't do that. He simply just went right at it, you know? Just went right at it, like boom. This is it. Okay, you know. I'm gonna do it. Yep, okay. And just did it. Because he's even into a pink up there, which is unbelievable. It's not. It works. Don't get me wrong. It works. To me, it's like somebody who can play the piano by ear. You know, like they see it and they can just do it. Because some of this stuff, like. But see, another side of the coin, I mean, you didn't buy colors out of a tube back then, right? I mean, you basically had to mix your own colors and stuff. And I've never heard of anybody being able to do that, ever. But there's always a first. I'm starting to wonder why that's why why he painted so slow. His output was so limited because he kind of did things his way. It was okay, but he could have. I don't know. When I have my theory nailed down, I'll let you know. But as it stands now, Jesus, I don't know. I mean, and it all works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Jesus, no. It works just fine. But it's just confounding. Really. It's like he did everything backwards or something. I gotta show Russ.
Up the lazy river where the old bill run. Up the lazy river with the new day sun. Lingering in the shade of a kind old tree. Throw away your troubles, dream a dream of me, dream a dream of me.
Up the lazy river.
Where the robin song, two bright lights as we stroll along. Blue skies up above, the one I love. Up the lazy river, how happy we will be, mama.
Up the lazy river. Confounding. Truly is confounding. Some places I'm painting backwards, you know, like doing stuff that there really is another way to do it. The way everybody else did. Or everybody else was taught to do it. Another thing. So, and is that the reason maybe why Rembrandt's student
how happy we'll be, baby.
latched onto him, like saw him for a painting genius, you know. Because then it would explain a lot of stuff, like for instance his use of the camera obscura, and it would really explain a lot of stuff. Of the technique, but and founding and it.
Shabby boat on the Mississippi, splashing along the shore. No head to mow, no corn to hoe. I'm never gonna work no more than sit and laugh at the bill collector snooping round my door. Oh, ain't scared of him, 'cause he can't.
And glazing the whites onto the underpainted yellow, light yellow, and it's working like a charm, but that's not what he did. But he could have. But he didn't. Why?
Get my gal and bring her back with me.
A mystery novel, you can't. There's no end to it.
Better times in store.
I've always been fascinated.
She'll sweep my rug and fetch my jug. I'm never gonna go no more.
He is definitely a confounding artist. The more I think about it, I explain an awful lot about him. Fellow artists realizing he was a genius, just let him roll, you know? Well, it's going to take some more research. I don't know, frankly, anybody who paints like this. Even the old masters, I don't know. And when I was in art school, like, nobody really talked about Vermeer. And I don't know why. I should have asked. Maybe because maybe it's something that was known and has been forgotten, or I don't know. Founding, that's all I can say. Da, 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 da. Oh man, I just put you out there for God's sake. Dead already. Yeah, you are. Duh. Oh, wrong color. Duh. Da, 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 da. Get out there. Well, doing like the opposite again. And I'll put that in, then I'll just go up with it, blazing. Goddamn. Girl with pearl earrings, but getting that the look, but doing it for conventional means. He did it. The founding part is not what he. Mind you, I am using acrylics. That right away is a bit of a problem. So, there's that. But I mean, from an oil painting's perspective, there we go. It's like there's the flesh tones, pinky flesh tones going in. So what he did. He did this, but he didn't do it this way. So what is he doing? What's he doing? What? Ah. Get out of there. Jesus. Oh, blazes on. I said I'm going to get these blazes on. fun thing about him. Came over with it. Adjusted a little bit of what did that?
Boy, you the lucky guy. When you consider the highest bidder, can't buy the gleam in your eye. You the lucky guy. You better thank your lucky stars. You've got a honey who wants no money, will take you just as you are. Thank your lucky stars. Now say fella, hey fella, don't it's rated, it's rated. Open up your eyes. Oh, you the lucky guy. You just beginning, so have your inning, and let your troubles grow bright. And deny, boy, you the lucky guy.
Then he goes into just the hint of pink, like just the very littlest hint. Alrighty. Light is here. Changes color again.
Now, boy, you got got a horseshoe in your pocket, you know that. You got a rabbit foot on your chain. And I'll bet you hit the numbers almost every day. Gate, your luck comes down just like rain. Now you talking about lucky. I'll say you're lucky. You the lucky guy.
It's just a hint. So little that you wouldn't notice unless you had this kind of a photo reference. Unless it was right in front of you, maybe. It is in front of me, that's the whole point. It's a little... That's where the glow comes from.
Hot dinner and dynamite, that's all there is at night. Back in the second when the bell to the back when the women's big back. For how they can entertain. One hurry, a hurricane. Back in the second when the bell to the back and the women's big back. Troubles increase. Soft coda, you got a soda, hurry, shake, milkshake, 10-cent piece. Buy dollar, treat you nice. Buy jingles, wait the price. Back in the second when the bell to the back and the women's big back.
You think it is, it isn't. I know it looks like he just used complete white, but he didn't. He only used the white just where the highlights hit. And that's what throws you. Like when you deconstruct the color, which I've been doing all night here, it's really so complex. It's really amazing what he's done here. I'm just blown away. Unbelievable. This is about as complex color toning that I've ever seen. It's just absolutely, and it's the little wee things that he gets. Like he brings it just up the middle here, just on the high highlight. So he doesn't actually blend it as much there. Hits it with highlight. Boom. You've got this incredible transition in color that you can't miss by even a hint. Because if you miss, you miss this color toning. Just goddamn amazing. That's what it is. It's just, well, I'm so tired. That's gonna be enough for tonight. Be continued tomorrow night. Our Galaxy's premiere. That's maybe we'll call this. So they got his blue tone down out there. But I'm deconstructing the color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So he's got 20 different colors in the space, this little wee space down here. 20. That is his feet, I'll tell you. Because it's the size of like an old silver dollar. Anyway, folks, we shall see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Yes, we will. Great evening. Hope you enjoyed it. I did. Fun, fun, fun. That's why we're here. Fun, fun, fun. Talk to you later. See you tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Be there.